Insecurities podcast. Ready and action.
I'm holding my mic, so.
I'll just playing along with you guys.
Alrighty, welcome back everyone to the Thickosaurus podcast. I am your host, Melissa, and we have
Molly.
Michelle.
And Anna.
You can't do it as cute as me, okay? Okay.
I'm imagining you as the ghost and Melissa.
And Melissa.
Like you can see her in the ghost
And Melissa.
suit from Halloween.
I'm just kidding, yo. Yeah, this is our 60th episode, and it's my episode today, and I want to talk about, or what's been on my mind, is beauty standards.
Dun, dun, dun.
Beauty standards. Okay. We all girls here. We all know. We all victims. Men, y'all are victims too.
Wait, beauty standards of women or like in general?
Well, I'm just gonna talk about like for women.
Okay.
But I'm just saying that it can happen to men too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. The main thing for men is they have to be 6 foot or taller.
Yeah.
I feel like some of
Type
the
of thing.
women are like that too with some of the men too.
What?
Having to be a certain height too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we can. I guess we're starting already. I mean, whatever you want to do.
I mean, yeah. So, cause I was watching about people talking about pretty privilege and how some people
That
don't.
shit is real.
That's
Yeah.
real.
And how some people don't think that that's real. And I'm like,
That's because your ass is pretty. That's why you don't think it's real. You know?
or a lot of guys, some naive guys think that pretty privilege isn't a thing sometimes, or like they don't understand, like, hey, do you realize you treat girls differently based on how they look? And they're like, no, I don't.
Oh my God,
and I'm
you-
like, no,
that
you do.
intersects with like skinny privilege too.
Mhm.
Yes.
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 Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, so sometimes when I call my guys friend out about that, they're like, no, Melissa, that's not what it is. And I'm like, no, that's what it is. Okay, you don't treat me like that. You don't treat other people like that. I see it.
Well, are you saying they treat you bad?
Not bad, but it's more
But you can
of-
tell the difference between
you can tell the difference when they are interested or they think that girl's pretty versus a friend who's a friend.
Oh.
You know, who's like a bro. You know, but when it comes to a pretty girl, they're kind of like, they become very accommodating.
Their
to
voice
them,
gets a little
and they're
high,
very, yeah, their voice goes high.
no offense, but that's what I've noticed is that their
Yeah.
voice kind of perks up.
Okay.
Perks up or goes like super low, like what's up, kind of thing.
Wait, okay, so they'll say that to girls that they like or that are pretty, or you're saying that to the other girls that they don't think are pretty?
I would say the ones that are pretty, because if like Melissa said, if they consider you like a friend, they'll just be like, "What up?" I mean, they just talk to you like how they talk
Normal.
to their
Like you're a
friends.
dude.
Like
Yeah.
you're a dude, like a
Yeah.
normal person. But then when they
Uh-huh.
see somebody really pretty, they give him pretty privilege.
Like, hey,
Let me
girl.
get that for you.
Yeah.
And da-da-da-da.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I just wanted to talk about beauty standards, pretty privilege. For those who don't know what pretty privilege is basically what the name is. You kind of, prettier people get treated a little differently. They kind of get treated more royalty-ish. Not real royalty, but like they just get treated nicer
Yeah.
than other people.
When it comes down to it, it's all about them being getting treated nicer, and people actually like, kind of like advocate for them or like believe them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, more.
Yeah.
Yes, pretty privilege.
Mhm.
Kind of stepping away from like the women, going back to the men
Mm-hmm.
stuff a little bit. It's just like that one serial killer. What's his name?
Ted Bundy?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. People would not think that he was a killer or still think that he's innocent just because of how charming and how handsome he was.
Charming.
Okay? That's pretty privilege.
Or I don't know if you guys remember a long time ago that picture of a Kedu guy, an African American guy who was
In jail?
In jail. And he was
his
very
mug,
pretty.
Yes, his mug shot.
yeah,
Yes.
when
He's
it
very
blew
pretty.
up on
He's now, like, a
social
model?
media.
Yeah, he's now a model.
Yeah. And so people were like, "Oh my god, he's so hot." But it's like, dude, but
I don't know what he was.
he's
Yeah, I don't know
He's
what
in
he was.
a
jail
criminal.
for a reason.
yeah.
I
He's
don't
a
know.
criminal.
They actually say that majority of criminals are like good looking though. Apparently, like it's pretty common. And I'm like, oh, interesting.
And they know that they're pretty. That's why they
Yeah.
think they can get away with whatever crime. That
Well,
they commit.
the example that you're using, he is what they consider beautiful anyway. Not only like his facial features, but he's also a light skinned
Wasn't he like
black
blue
guy,
eyed?
and he
Yeah,
has
blue
blue
eyes,
eyes
yes,
too.
yeah.
You know, which is so sad because that's like the colonizer standards of beauty is blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's basically what pretty privilege is. It's basically what the title is saying. Pretty privilege happens to girls, happens to guys a lot of times. Girls, you do that to guys too. Okay.
It's kind of like when we went to like camp or like just any social gathering or something. There's always that one person that everyone
attracts the guys
that
like,
hovers, that has like a crowd with them. Both guys and girls, because we had one in our youth group that he was surrounded by girls all the time.
It's like they're the light, like that person was the light, and then the rest of the people following him were bugs.
Yeah, kind of thing. And then you can kind of tell like who is who basically in those group gatherings.
Oh, I wouldn't know. I was always a, what are you guys doing? Kind of girl on the side.
It didn't
like,
help. Like
what?
for me, I was always in the same group as them, and so I was just like. But then again, I some of them I am friends. I was friends with them, but let's just I guess we kind of just did our own thing. So
Gosh,
yeah,
that reminds me of like the whole concept of when you look at girls, you know that there's only like really two categories I feel like they fall into. They're the pretty or sexy one, and then the cute one or whatever. And that reminds me of the two twins from Sister Tia and Tamara Mari. And like I thought it was so sad that Tamara was always like, I'm the cute one, you know, like I'm always just the cute one. I'm not the pretty one or whatever, or the sexy one or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was just like, dang.
Even though they look similar.
They're
Yeah.
twins, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so obviously my question was, is pretty privilege a thing? And obviously we all
Agree.
agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a thing. And it also, like I said earlier, it includes like your body physique too. Because if you're not fit or if you don't seem to be like the person that is fit, then that also is included under the umbrella of pretty privilege. Because a lot of people on social media say that like their process, if they lose weight, like if they've always been overweight and they've like had their, you know, glow up, quote unquote, and then they see that, oh wow, people do really treat you differently, and it messes with your mind.
Or like with us bigger girls, the plus size models, you can be a plus size model, but you have to be curved at the right spot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have
they
the
know-
right, the right
Yeah.
shape of plus size.
They all
Yes.
look the same. All of the plus size models look the same, which no shame to you ladies out there modeling, but like they have a flat stomach.
Yeah.
And they have
really
an
curvy.
hourglass.
Yes.
Yeah, very hourglass body. And it's like, that's not how majority of plus size women look.
Yeah, so again, it goes both ways. Even if you are plus sized, there's a certain standard for plus size models.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I remember when Tyra's model show was going on, and they, for the first time, they did have plus size models on there. And I remember there was two that were kind of facing each other to be chosen as like the last person to be put on the team or whatever. And there was two plus size models, and they were walking down the runway. And I specifically remember Tyra and the other judges saying how the first one, she's like the ideal plus model because her sizes or her shape is perfect. And it was literally you know, like you said, the hourglass shape. You know, granted, her tummy was still a little bit thicker, but you could still definitely see the hourglass shape. Whereas the other one, she wasn't proportionate. She was a little heavier at the top, like busty wise, chest wise, compared to the rest of her body. So, with that saying, it goes to like how we were just saying, plus size models in the beauty standard world, you still have to be hourglass and somewhat flat tummied. Because if you're disproportionate, then you're not considered pretty or beautiful. Because it's just how the world is, you know, type thing. So yeah, I remember seeing that on that episode, and I was like, huh. Even though you're looking for plus size models to kind of like be more inclusive, you still judge them by the skinny privileged people standards.
Yeah.
So then what are the like actual standards then of like pretty or beauty then? Like skinny and
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I really
I think
don't know.
it changes depending on the person, because I think nowadays a lot of people have their beauty standards kind of changed a little bit too.
I feel like each era is always different.
Yeah.
As you can see, because like in like back in the 1920s or whatever, it was chubbier women, or like back in
Curvier.
Victorian area, it was chubbier women
That had curves.
because that was, you're rich, you got food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want a chubbier woman who can bear our kids.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
and then it went down to like what 1920s where they were still a little bit chubbier with meat on them, and then it kind of just got skinnier and skinnier. And a lot of people say on the internet that like the early 2000s is like what killed a lot of girls'
Self-image
and confidence because of how skinny everybody
They
was.
were really, really skinny. I remember that. And I always thought that was so strange to me how skinny they were. But then it also did impact me too. And I always thought that. I think that's probably why, you know, how you and I always said, like, oh, we thought we were fat. And it was because
Yeah.
of those examples. Like
Yeah.
Nicole Richie, she was really scrawny, though. I think she had like a eating disorder. And then even the twins from Full House. Ashley and Mary Kay
Olsen.
like I think one or both of them were really, really scrawny too, but I think they also, one of them also had like went through an eating disorder too. So a lot of people, even the girl from Nicole Scherzinger from Pussycat Dolls, she actually had a disorder too. So I'm like, damn.
Yeah. And so, because, yeah, I remember when we were talking about it, and I think I talked about this before, where I went back and looked at pictures of when I thought I was fat, because my other friends were like a size 0, a size 3, and I was like, what, a 5? A 5 is not big.
No.
That's all I
Okay.
said. I was like, the smallest I've been from y'all, I was like an 8. Smallest maybe 6. That's all I'm like, I don't know why you're
Yeah.
complaining.
But, yeah, I looked at myself in those pictures, and I was like, dang, Melissa, you actually had curves. You actually had meat on you. So I don't know why you kept comparing yourself to your other friends who were
It's
skin and bones.
It's because they were the one who got attention.
Yeah, it was. It really was. Because
Yes.
they had the pretty privilege. Again, I was the Duff.
Yes, I was the Duff
Yeah.
too.
Which is, if y'all don't know, the designated
Ugly
ugly
fat
fat friend. Yeah. So, yeah, so we were the Duffs. And so we were always the person for guys. You're always the person who the guys will befriend you in order to get to the girl.
Yeah, to the other friend that they're actually aiming
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, that's the designated ugly fat friend.
Yep. Or like you just, or like or you guys just end up being like best friends with the dude. Even if they're not going, even if they're not going for your pretty friend, they just friend zone you, either on purpose, automatically, or just like unintentionally. That's just what happens.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I ever experienced that, but then I did disassociate a lot during my friendship years, I guess, middle school and high
Oh.
school. But maybe I was the Duff too, because nobody, well, I don't remember people, guys coming and talking to me directly, But then I always
Oh.
did. There were always at least one or two girls in my friend group that guys would gravitate towards. So obviously, I was not the one that had pretty privilege. No.
Yeah.
No, I didn't have that many. I don't know if it's because you guys had like what Asian friends or something like that. If that was a thing with the Duff thing, but I didn't have a lot of
It
Asian
happens
friends.
with outside races too.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I had like maybe one friend that I really stuck with, one girlfriend that I stuck with, and the rest of them were guys. So
Mm.
I didn't really have that issue in middle school.
They couldn't. They couldn't handle your honesty, so they couldn't be your friend.
Yeah, I was brutal.
No, but
To be
that would be
honest.
good. That's good because then you basically cut the BS out.
Yeah.
Unlike
'cause
me
I
and
didn't
Liz, we're
really-
like people pleasing, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
We
I
were
think
just nice, and they just thought that we were. What's the word? Easy to manipulate. I guess you
Yeah,
could say.
manipulative.
Yeah.
maybe just my brutal honesty probably did kill that. Plus, I wasn't really into like the beauty stuff in middle school and early high school anyway. So
Mm.
That's true. Now that I think of it, I don't think I really paid attention to makeup until
mid high school, for me at least.
yeah, maybe like sophomore year. Yeah.
That's how I was like.
And then
yeah.
those other girls, I'm guessing they did makeup early. Because I remember the only thing I used back then was eyeliner.
Yeah,
The
it's like
pencil eyeliner.
I remember in
Right.
8th grade is when I started to use. I think like end of 7th, and then 8th grade was when I started to use like a little bit of powder and eyeliner. That was it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And it wasn't really until like junior, senior year is when I started to play with like eyeshadow and stuff like that, and like actual foundation.
Y'all didn't have the butthole lips.
No.
Hell no.
Oh, I think that's
That's
probably
just-
just a white girl.
Yeah, I think that's a white girl thing.
I mean, like I have done it to try it on, but I've never worn it out in
The
public
concealer.
because
lips.
the color never looked good on me.
Yeah.
I always looked like I was dead. So I didn't like that.
I often wonder, it's like, is that the look y'all were looking for or going for? Is to look like pretty dead or something?
And I think eyeliner was such a huge game during like the 2010s.
Yeah.
That it was a huge game, and so everybody just focused on the eyes, like the really pale face and then
The
the
eyes and the thin eyebrows.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it was until about sophomore year where I was experimenting with like mascara and a little bit of eyeliner or whatever. Eyeliner was just too much for me, and doing the whole under the waterline thing was just a no-go for my face because my skin was so oily. It would always become raccoon eyes.
Yeah,
so
I
I
noticed
stopped.
that, yeah.
I always stopped doing it. So I stopped doing that, and I just did like mascara and maybe like a little bit of powder. And like, it wasn't until maybe junior, senior year that I used like a little bit of foundation and concealer because that's when I started to break out really bad. And I was just trying to hide my pimples, my zits.
Oh.
So
I didn't really. I did makeup a lot later in life for me. I only did like the eyeliner and stuff and a little bit of eyeshadow and mascara here and there. But I honestly didn't actually really start wearing makeup until college. Now that I think about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think all I did was just the eyeliner. Was probably eyeliner and the eyebrows. Is probably
Yeah.
the most that I've done.
until I think for me it was like 2014, 16. You know, when the huge makeup revolution hit.
Yeah. The makeup gurus on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the 3 parts of where to put the eyeshadow on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything.
And that's when it really hit. But
yeah, I think that's all of us. That's when we got really heavy into makeup. It's because of that.
That's when one of my cousins had told me, she was like, what the hell was I doing as a 15-year-old going to school, getting up early, putting on a full beat of makeup, my thick eyebrows, my Anastasia eyebrows. Like, what was I doing? And I was like, we just let you do your own thing. You had your own thing going. And she was like, yeah, but I look back at the pictures, like, what was I doing? And I was like, I don't
doing
know.
whatever it was in the trend back then.
yeah.
The concealer under the eyebrows and everything, blocky eyebrows. But
It's kind of like, I still do that.
Yeah, I feel like my makeup
we
is
do,
still
yeah.
2016.
Yeah, of course my makeup is still 2016. Yeah.
Especially the eyebrows, though.
Oh.
I don't know.
So
So for beauty standards in the Hmong community,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we all know beauty standards in any Asian
Is being skinny.
culture, yeah,
Stick skinny.
is hard. And so, have you guys ever had anybody in the Hmong community like say anything about your
All the time, but they try
say
like,
that you're ugly or
oh,
like,
ugly? Oh.
or like any what's the word, any tiff that you guys had with any Hmong people in the Hmong community, especially because we're women, you know.
No. Well, the only tiff or major thing for me was always about my face because, I mean, you guys knew me. My face was always broken out. I always had zits on my face. I always had like huge cystic acne and stuff like that. So it's kind of like it's something that you cannot hide no matter how much makeup you put on. So of course I would cake on the makeup because I'm trying to hide those pimples. So the comments I would get was always just about my zits. Like, why does your face look like that? Why do you have those?
So the Hmong people will come and say that to you?
Yes.
The hell? Do they say it in Hmong? Because I always heard it in Hmong.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Y'all are going to jail. Jail. Go to jail.
Yes, they would always like ask like, what's wrong with your face? Or what is that on your face? Or they'd be like, Michelle, did you get bit on the face? Because that's how huge my cystic zit would be. They would think that it's a bug bite or like
I'm
a
trying to
mosquito
imagine
bite.
it in Hmong. It sounds so mean.
Yeah. And they would always ask
Chả
that.
có lên gym mà. Mà nó chỉ tỏ nó. Chả có lên gym all đi nó. Like that?
Yes.
Damn.
Yes. It would be that. You know, it's like, and I know they're not trying to be like,
It's rare. If you think about it, it is rare for Asian communities to have people that have a lot of acne. I think it's just like the generation that was born here and so forward. Because I think it's the type of food and the environment that we are in too.
yes.
That's probably why they're like, what is this colonizer stuff on your face? Right?
Yeah. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
I remember our mom, she would get breakouts too.
Yeah, I remember that.
And again, I think that's also a reason why she wore makeup too, is just to help cover up her
Oh,
breakouts
yeah.
and stuff. But of course, as she got older, it disappeared or whatever. But for me, yeah, it started in, I'll say sophomore, junior year is when it started to like pop up, and then senior, and then in college years, it just got worse and worse, and I just could not figure out what was going on. And it all, of course, all those words that those Hmong people would say, it hurt, yes. So it made me like just want to like hide, and that's another reason why I picked at my face, because I was trying to get rid of it quickly
Oh.
instead of waiting for it to be ready to pop or whatever. No, I would sit there and poke at it with needles.
Oh.
So yeah, they would. Yeah, I know they weren't doing it directly to be like super mean or anything.
They
like
really
that.
just haven't seen it and
Yeah,
didn't know
they
what
just
to do.
really haven't seen acne like that bad
Right.
before. So they always wonder what it is. What am I doing for it? Have I tried this? Have I tried that? And it's just kind of like, shut up. It's like, I don't want any opinions. I don't want suggestions. I don't want advice, because if I wanted that, I would say something. You know? And I get it. You're just helping, but no. When you're trying to help and you're pointing it out, you're just reminding me that I have something wrong on my face, and that my face is ugly. You know, it's like, and I already know that. So, yeah.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah. So, it was not fun growing up with cystic acne like that. And of course, since I didn't know anybody else who had skin issues like that, I suffered alone, and I didn't know what to do about it, except whenever I went to my doctor, my pediatrician at the time, he would prescribe me just antibiotics. And yeah, it would help for like a couple months. But after that, it just came right back.
Did you ever figure out what the source was for your cystic acne?
I'm sure the makeup didn't help.
Yeah.
I think it was since it was like my adolescent years like teenage adolescent years, it was also probably like stress, you know, from school, from social stuff, and yeah, I just think because from my generation, we went through a lot of shit, like socially wise and like worldwide and stuff like that. So lots of stressors and stuff. So it was kind of like, yeah, I think mainly it was just stress and like a lot of mental instability. Therefore, like you didn't sleep well, you ate, or I ate horribly, and yeah, I think that was pretty much it. Damn. It's just not taking care of myself because, again, I didn't know how to take care of myself. So all I did was pretty much chase the beauty standard to try and hide whatever it is that I was having going on my face. So, yeah.
Anybody else?
Mine is mostly just whenever I had gained more weight, and they had said to me, because you know, like which is so funny, 'cause, like if you're too skinny, then when you wear wrong clothes, it doesn't fit you right. You know, because like the mong clothes are for women who actually have curves, so that way they can tie it onto like at least like a little bit of curve, or like some kind of, you know, guy on you, so that way that everything will actually stay put. And I was helping with a wedding once, and the bride is the opposite of my body type. Like they're thick, skinny, to the point where they had to put other types of fabric under her so that way she would have more meat.
Oh.
So they can tie the things on her, because she was so skinny to the point where the parts of daihla and stuff where you would where you would tie it in the back, like there was so much left over. So that's why they had to put like extra fabric on the front and the back of her, so that way it fills it in. And then I mean, like at that point, I was already kind of like self-conscious of my body already. And then so when the lady was helping me get dressed, because I was the Niantanjo or Niantanjo, I don't know how you say it, because there's apparently the right way. And I was helping them, and they were dressing me up. And then the lady was like saying to me in Hmong things like, "Oh wow, like you can't fit this," or "Wow, with how old you are, when I was your age, I was skinny. I was skinny like her, like the bride." They were saying that to me. Yeah. And then they were also saying like, "I've had kids and I still wasn't as big as you," while she's fitting the clothes on me. And I'm like, I'm supposed to just take this verbal abuse? So I'm just kind of like, okay. And then she was just like, "Oh, let's hope this fits." And she's like tying all that onto me. And I was like, I never wanted to leave so bad. Like I was like, why am I even here? But you know, my duties. So I was appointed in that position, so I had to just take it. And it was just like that at that time was my I wasn't at my heaviest either, or because right now I'm at my heaviest, but that was when I was probably only like 130, 140.
Oh my God.
And they were saying that to me, and I was like,
pretty sure the bride was probably like 95 pounds.
90 to 100 probably. Yeah. So I'm just kind of like, dang. That's hurtful. So they said it in Hmong too, though. So it was hurt. It hurt a lot. She just said that to me, and I'm just kind of like, okay. I wanted to die. I was like, I couldn't go and crawl under a rock or anything, because, you know, when you're getting fitted in the Hmong clothes with the bride, everybody else is there. So she did it in front of other people talking to me about that. So that was my experience. That was fun. That, and then just, you know, with my PCOS condition, they also, because my stomach bloats a lot, so then people always just say like, oh, you know, like, wow, are you pregnant? Like they'll say stuff like that to me. And I would just be like, no, I'm not pregnant, I'm just fat. And they were like, but your stomach, like, are you sure you're not, you know,
it's like, I have a medical condition.
No. And then that was because I was dating, you know, Mike at the time for a long time. Right. So they were just kind of like, wait, are you sure? And then I always had like my little brother with me, you know, because so he would have been the perfect age to be my own kid. And I was like, no, I swear, this is not my kid. This is my little brother. And then they'll be like, oh, okay. And they'll just kind of look at me like, why is this bitch lying?
Wow. Wow.
Like, you got questions, concerns? Ask my parents.
No, I just go, Well, that's the thing too. I was really outspoken, so I was just kind of like, I tell them the truth. I'm like, I'm not, and they'll just be like, okay.
I'll be like, yes, that age, big of an age gap, yes. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I just go, nah, because I was just kind of like, I'm over people.
Yeah, girl, that's how it was too.
Yeah. So just be careful, be nice, you guys. Just be kind. You don't know what they're struggling. Someone struggling with acne while in like their most vulnerable years, which is like what your youth, your teenage years, and then yeah. So women goes through so much shit.
They do.
But did you have any experience?
I don't. I mean, besides like the whole like, oh, you're big now, kind of thing, or
Wait, they say that to your face?
Yeah.
They're like,
they'll be like, oh, you're big now, or like, oh, you
Play
you're
on
big.
words, oh, you're big now.
Oh,
you know.
kalalato, yeah, and I'm like, yeah.
you should be like, "Luciano here."
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I'm bigger now. You know, they're like, oh, okay, are you at least married? And I'm like, no. They're like, oh, okay.
Because they would only correlate you getting big with being after getting married. Cause that's
Yeah,
what
and then they'll ask
technically
how old I
happens.
am, and I'm like, oh, I'm 31. 31? Yeah, I'm 31.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, and you're not married? No. And they're like, oh, okay.
They don't know what to do.
Yeah, they don't know what to
And
say
I'm
after
like,
that.
okay, what's your point?
Yeah, it's funny
Kinda
how
thing.
it's funny how they whenever they don't get the answer that they're looking for and they feel like stupid or whatever, and it's kind of like, what did you think what you were going to feel? You know, asking questions like that to a woman.
Yeah.
You know, to a
I
young
mean,
lady.
There's some who are like generally like, they don't mean it from a bad
Place, yeah.
bad place, which I understand. But there are some people, some women out there, Hmong women especially, who do it because they're bitches about it. And I'm just kind of like, okay, you think it's gonna hurt me, but it doesn't. But growing up, though, I guess we were on the thicker side of people, of I guess girls our age. You know, kind of thing. And so, yeah, it was just a lot of like, oh, or like whenever we go and we try on clothes, or,
Oh, yeah.
you know, we sleep over and we're trying on clothes, or we forget to bring clothes and there's not any clothes that fits us because
Yeah, we were on
We're
the thicker
thicker.
side.
we were thicker, which honestly, we weren't thicker. Because I remember one time when I was with my friends who were, size 0 and size 3, there was one time I forgot why I needed a change of clothes and I didn't have any clothes. And she gave me her mom's clothes because her mom clothes fit me. And she kind of just laughed and she was like, oh my God, you fit my mom's clothes. And in my head, I'm just kind of like, it's kind of cute.
Yeah.
But in her head, it was just super funny for her.
Because it was.
Are they your real friends though? Because if you think about it, you wouldn't do that.
I know, I don't know. And so it kind of made me feel a little fat.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
because of course I knew I wasn't skinny like you. But for you to laugh
As my friend.
as my friend, yeah, it kind of hurt me. But at the same
Yeah.
time, like, it was cute clothes. So your mom has some style. 'Cause it
Yeah.
was cute clothes. You know, but I don't know.
Oh,
But yeah, and so I'm just kind of like, a size 5 wasn't really that big.
no. It's
Size
not.
5 is tiny.
Yeah.
I know.
You know,
I'm looking at a
like,
size 5 now, and I'm like, damn, that's tiny, Melissa. And you thought that you were big?
It was just, that's just how we grew up because, again, like you said, we're on the thicker side. We were always chubbier. We were always
Yeah,
thicker.
we had thighs.
We were well fed, is what it was.
Yes, we had thighs.
I don't think we were well fed. I think it's more of our proportion was the right proportion. It
Yeah,
went to.
I was looking at mom's proportions.
Yeah.
Like, even back then, I was just like, oh, okay, so she did have somewhat of a good figure too. And then
She's stylish.
yeah, and then the fact that even we were on the thicker side like that, we still were getting our exercise times and everything stuff
Mm-hmm.
up there.
I'm
But we
sorry,
were
I
still
just think
big.
about how you said you looked at a picture of mom when she was younger, and I was like, no wonder your dad got hooked.
She had, yeah.
She had some curves. That's why I was just like, oh, okay. So she was
She was athletic. She had some curves.
She
Yeah.
was, he saw her and he was like, you can look like you can pop out 6 kids.
And she did.
Gross.
That's what they were looking for back then. They were like, oh, you're kind of skinny. Can you bear my children?
Yeah, that's true. You know,
Saw your mom and be like, ooh, boop, 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 6.
But then I'm looking at her sister Susan, those old family photos, at least the ones that we have. They weren't that scrawny either.
They all had meat.
We all
Or a
meet
few
'cause
of them
grandma.
did.
Look at
Had
grandma.
Because
Yeah.
grandma was also kind of thick, on the thicker side.
I think that I think for some, because, you know, some Hmong people or Hmong girls, they are thick skinny. But I think majority of us Hmong girls, we do have curvy figures. Because, like, I've always been known for my thighs, too.
Because I know
Me too.
my second dad, Mr. Yip, because when I was in class with him, he would be like, you know, you Hmong girls are really pretty. And he's like, and I see why the Chinese people were threatened by y'all and threw you guys out of China. Because he was like, yeah, because you Hmong girls, if you look at you Hmong girls compared to Chinese women,
Body figure.
yeah, like body figure wise and just the way your facial features look, yeah, you guys are really pretty.
Yeah.
aw, he's
And I
so
was like, oh.
sweet.
I didn't know that.
Now that you mention it, now I'm thinking of the Chinese figures. They're very stick skinny.
Yeah, they're very just straight,
straight down.
Yeah.
you know? And so, yeah, I thought that was kind of weird, but I was like, oh, you know what? No, that's true. A lot of Hmong girls are really pretty.
Yeah.
A lot of us are pretty.
And they
all
look,
of us are pretty.
what is
All
that
of us
word?
are pretty.
Yes.
Some
all
of
us.
it, we look racially ambiguous. Like, they don't know if we are, like, a certain what type of Asian we are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was the right word to use. But like, you look at us and you're like, are you Chinese? Are you Korean?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Or in our case, they mistaken us as Native American
Yeah.
all the time in Tahlequah. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Because they're like, what tribe are you? And I'm like,
Laos tribe.
Tao clan?
Yeah, the Tao clan.
The Tao clan? And they're like, no, what tribe? What? They're like Choctaw, Cherokee, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not.
I'm Asian.
Yeah, like I am not Native American. I'm sorry.
Which is interesting because like we get mistaken as being like Mexican or Native American, but those two populations are indigenous because we are indigenous to China.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, oh, like all indigenous people, they kind of have very similar features.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but growing up, I guess I knew pretty privilege was a thing. I just didn't know it was called pretty privilege because growing up as my quiet self, you can kind of see how other people treat, or in my case, I noticed how people treated me differently versus somebody who was really pretty at a young age.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I just didn't know what that was called.
You're just kind of like those. They were bitches. That's what they were.
Yeah.
That's all you knew.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of my self-esteem came from that. And a lot of my
Are you
self-esteem
talking about when
came
you were
from-
like a child and like
Yes.
family members would do that?
Yes, family members will do that.
Mhm.
Or they'll treat me differently based on... I don't know. I just noticed that my family members, like my aunties and them, treated me differently from my other girl cousins that are my age.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing. And I didn't really notice this. I mean, I did notice it when I was younger, didn't know what it was called, but I didn't really think about it until we had that incident with our
Member.
our family member. So I thought about it and I was like, oh my God, you know, a lot of my self-esteem issues came from y'all. Came from, I don't think mom and dad really
from the
did
one
it.
group that you trusted.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, and I was just like, oh my God, it all comes together. And I'm like, why?
Aw.
You know?
I'm sorry.
Because they themselves
they feel ugly.
they
That's
felt
why
ugly.
Yeah, and so
projected
that's why
onto
I'm
you.
like, in my head, I'm like, I don't remember doing anything like
Wrong.
wrong. Yeah, so I'm like, I don't understand that.
Mm.
You know? And so yeah, so that's just my whole on my self-love journey and realizing that, and I'm
Yeah.
like, dang, Melissa, that's why your self-esteem is so low.
That's so sad. Because my experience is the opposite. We were too confident. Me and my girls, me and my sisters and my cousins, like, you kind of needed us to sit down and shut up. Because we're kind of like in your face. We're like, yeah, we know we look. I'm sorry for saying it out loud now. It sounds so shallow. We know we look good and we'll be like walking the runway, you know? I thought about that too recently, where how I was like, how did it that, like, where the hell did that come from? Like, all of us, we were just kind of like, we're that thing. We're Miss Thing, okay? Like, we would be like walking around and be like, yeah.
I feel like that would come from your dad.
You think so?
Yeah, those traits.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm saying like all of us though. We're like that.
Well, yeah.
Even my cousins.
I think
but-
it's just. I think we just process the trauma differently.
that
Probably.
too.
Oh, I don't know, but that's what our experience was, and we were all different sizes. We were tall, big, chubby, skinny.
I think it also probably because we were religious. You guys weren't.
Yeah,
And
Oh,
so
yeah.
our religion or our religious
upbringing.
background was be conservative, be
Be
humble.
pacifists.
Yes.
Oof.
Even if you know you're pretty, don't
So
act
Asian.
like yeah.
Oh my God, girl, yes.
Yeah.
No, we didn't. I mean, we were taught the same thing to like keep it to yourself, but I guess I could
But
say that.
I feel like
can
we
think-
were in more of the limelight because of
Yeah.
our dad.
Yeah, of who our dad was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So you guys
Yeah.
were. A lot of the stuff that you guys were doing was on a pedestal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Dang.
so a lot of times when we got into the fight with our family member, that person would always be like, "Oh, you think you're just righteous? Y'all think that you're on this little righteous little
Pedestal.
pedestal."
up
And I'm
there.
like, we have never said anything like that.
It's like where? I was like, where did religion come into this? Because like, seriously, we have never been that religious
Yeah, we
to
have-
where we use that as our a
Yeah.
card.
You know
You
what
know?
is
Never
sad
done
is that, like, the more and more I get older, I think people just really do project what they feel about themselves onto you.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's sad that they didn't feel that at one point they could talk to you about how they feel about you, but they wait until an opportunity happens and then they strike you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just interesting that that family member that was really close to you guys never actually tried to have a conversation with you. So if anything, it just says really a lot about them.
Because in her mindset that we're still we're still children
Yeah.
to her.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, our childhood was like different. We were kind of like Miss Thing and walking around, and I think I do owe a lot to my. I guess I could say I do owe a lot to my parents. Like, they were really carefree, but then like me on draw, so like they didn't have anybody that kind of like
To reel them in.
reel them in or reel them in, so that way they can like stop acting a fool. Like, not to say I don't know who, but like my dad when he was younger and he would get into he would talk back to OGs, so he didn't care, which explains why I'm the way I am. What did you
Yeah.
say? What did you say? I hope you know that I'm a daughter, or I won't say son, but basically I'm a son. I am a son of a father who fights OGs. Okay, he punched an old lady once. I will too. I will too. I will punch an old man. I will. Because if you're disrespectful, don't be expecting me to not punch you in the mouth and be like, why'd you do that for? Well, you said a lot of stuff that came out of your mouth that you shouldn't have said. Like,
Again, yeah. See, different upbringing.
yeah, I would have popped. Would have popped that person in the face if they would have said something about mom or anything. I was
Yeah.
so close. I was like, what did you say? My ears perked up. I go, boop. What did you say?
I can see her ear animated kind of go.
I was, because I was, like I said, in that incident, I was just helping around, and then I heard that, and I was like, oh. What'd you say? Oh, nothing. That's why I thought you said something. Okay, you want to share with the class? But no.
Yeah.
But yeah, our upbringing was different. So that's kind of sad, though, that you guys had that.
Yeah.
Beauty standards, man.
Yeah. So.
Oh, you know what that makes me think of? Are you guys ever worried about our nieces, about how they'll grow up, too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I'm always like, oh, because like I'm worried about that now. Because I have nieces that are at who are young and they're at the very impressionable age, and I can see it. I feel the secondhand. What is that? Well, I forgot what the actual word is, but I feel it coming off of them. The angst. That's what it is. Like teenage angst, where they're kind of like, I don't know what to do, or like you're awkward and stuff.
Oh,
They call it angst.
Uh-huh.
I feel it coming off of them, the tween angst, and I'm like, I don't want to be here again. And I'm just like, oh my god, poor girl.
No, I agree. Even though I don't have daughters, I do have sons, and one of them is like pre-teening, and so I don't know. I feel like it's always been him to be like this, but I feel like it's been more lately, I guess. Where he, like you said, he's like what you said, like he doesn't know or he can't make choices or whatever, stuff like that. I don't know. It's just like I don't remember being like that when I was younger. But then again, I'm a girl and he's a boy, so I don't know if it's a boy thing or what. But
So, because I think of
decisions.
yeah, he's like very indecisive, or he's afraid to make a choice.
Oh,
I think
Yeah.
it's more of he's scared of what he would choose and what your guys' opinion of it is.
But that's the thing, though. Or at least me, I try to be as unjudgmental and unbiased as possible whenever it comes to those things with him, because I knew how it felt. So therefore, I always try to make him feel as free as possible.
you felt that secondhand angst too?
Yeah, hell yeah.
You were like, oh god, because when I think of boys and angst, I think of them as this one. I saw this one comedic where he was explaining like, yeah, like the teenage, or no, not teenage, the tween boys, they're kind of like,
The confidence.
yeah,
and
or no,
stuff.
like, yeah, or like they can't look at girls, or they can't look at people there because all the angst, so they're kind of just like, yeah. Like, and so I'm like thinking like your boy is probably at that age right now, and I'm like, oh.
But then again, if you're thinking from his view, I think it's also because he knows, I think, the finance situation as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He's probably putting that into play where he doesn't want to go anywhere
Oh.
too much to harm your guys' financial stuff. Because knowing him,
Oh, he is very
'cause
aware
remember that
of that
situation where he didn't want to get anything at the store
Yeah.
because of that. So I'm pretty sure he's considering your guys' finance situation also at the same time.
It's like, well, I'm pretty sure he's heard me and Dad say something, but it's
Yeah.
kind of like, boy, you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, so
doesn't
I'm
know
pretty sure
that.
because
Like, stop it.
he's the older one, and then he's usually the one that's been told to kind of
set the example.
set the example and then everything, so he knows the situation before you guys and everything. So I'm pretty sure that's what's in play.
That's the whole part of the angst, though. You think you carry the
Yeah.
whole world on your shoulder and you can't do anything. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, when you sit next to a tween, you're like, dang, no wonder adults around us were like, you're like a ticking time bomb. Because I'm like standing next to my niece and I'm like, are you okay? They're like, yeah. And you're like, I don't think so.
I was like, are you sure?
But it's a boy, but the boys, they don't know anything unless you ask them or tell them.
I know, but I'm just saying,
Whatever
tweens
say.
in general, I'm just kind of like, you feel like you're gonna come, like, explode any moment, like, you good?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I was thinking of your son, because I was like, I feel like that's in play. That's why it was very hard for him to decide of what to do, or he just generally did not know what to do.
Oh.
I think it's both, but more of he genuinely just doesn't know what to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He doesn't
I feel
know
like
his hobbies and stuff
sometimes
yet.
they get so much. They're so privileged
Yeah.
that like they really don't know.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know. It's just,
Yeah.
I get on to their dad about that a lot. It's like, I know you want to give them everything that you didn't have, but it's kind of like, chill a little bit.
You don't want to give the whole world to them without them learning how to struggle.
Or at least understand that sometimes you can't have everything that you want.
But anyway.
But anyways, back to beauty
The beauty
standards.
standards.
Yeah. But yeah, so the whole pretty privilege thing, yeah, I realized it growing up, didn't know what it was. And that's where I am now with my self-love journey. Is that I'm trying to,
Decolonize.
yes, and trying to just love my body where it's at right now, because I'm always constantly like, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. I want to do this. I want to do that. But then, like, my reasoning wasn't strong enough.
Your why?
Yeah, my why
Yeah.
wasn't strong enough. And I never understood what that freaking meant. And I'm like, because
Yeah.
I want to lose weight. Duh. That's my why. And they're like, no, Melissa, what's your why? I just told you. And they were like, that's not good. And I'm like,
It's not gonna be
what
good
does
enough
that
to
mean?
hold
Yeah.
you through to
Yeah,
the
what does
end.
that freaking mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, recently I was just kind of like, your why, Melissa, should be because you want to show yourself that you love yourself
Oh.
enough to do it. To put yourself
Aw.
first to do it.
Girl, I know.
You know?
At my heaviest now, I sound silly, but I really do be like, thank you, body, for giving me energy.
Mhm.
I went to sleep. I woke up. Wow, my teeth hasn't all fallen out. Like, like, I'm like, oh, I can still kind of see.
Yeah.
Like, I have to do that. And then, like, my mind will, like, factory reset and be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm ready now.
Yeah, and so with my whole, like, work situation, everything that's happening, and I'm
Yeah.
just, as I call it, the acronym SADS. I got the SADS. Stress, anxiety, depression syndrome.
Oh, God.
The SADS. Okay, and so, like, yeah, it's a lot of reteaching myself and trying to get my mind situated. Because I'm like, if your mind is not situated, then everything else is not going to be situated.
They say that
You
when you
know?
go through that journey and you basically are reparenting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could, when you're very emotional, you're technically like in your childhood. And when you start to get angry and you understand yourself, then that's like you're supposedly like your teenage self.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at right now. I finally passed the childhood
Oh.
part.
Yeah, I think I'm still at the childhood
It's okay.
part. Yeah. And so that's why I'm like, I'm just constantly trying to remember, doing affirmations in the morning.
Be
and all
kind
that
to
stuff.
yourself.
Be kind to my body. So sometimes I would make like unrealistic goals.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Melissa, you're going to work out every single day of this week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Melissa, no. Let's be honest here. That is not going to happen.
Yeah.
The next morning, you're like,
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. And so I'm like, and then I tried to aim for, because one day I was just really, really mad, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try to work this off, and I worked it off, and I think this is on a day that usually we play games, and I told Matthew that I'll be on a little later because I'm gonna work out,
Yeah.
and then he was like, oh, okay, and then and I was angry, and I worked out, and I showered, and we played games, and he was like, Melissa, I'm proud of you.
oh.
And I'm like, okay.
Knowing you're like,
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
thanks.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna cry. Like, yeah, I was like, oh,
It's okay. Don't
thank
apologize.
you.
Here's a tissue. Go ahead and cry it out. Remember, you gotta let it come out of your body. I heard this thing on TikTok University the other day, and it said if you don't let yourself cry, it will stay in your body and it will become a stone and it will build a wall.
Oh.
So don't
Oh.
let it become a wall. So
Here's another episode of me crying.
it's okay.
But yeah, he said that, and I was like, oh, okay. Thank you.
But don't you ever feel like your younger siblings, since you guys kind of like raised them, and when they say things like that about you, that is just a reflection of how you were to them. Because that's why they can say that to you, and that's why they can do things like that to you. Like, because my little brother from time to time would be like, because he was having a hard day because he's a tween himself, and I was like telling him like, oh, this and that, and then he said to me, it's like, I just want you to know that I love you.
Oh.
Yeah. So like, just know that it's like you're on your self journey, right? But then also the way he responded to you is a reflection of you too.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Okay.
Okay, you're gonna make me cry even more now. Yeah.
Okay.
It's also a reflection of you, Because for someone to be able to say those types of things to you in your small circle, it's just like a reflection of your love and how you guys are with each other. Because if they don't love you or respect you enough, first of all, they won't be in your circle. But second of all, it's like, oh, you've given them that space to be able to grow and be vulnerable. So they do what they learn and they reflect it back to you. So,
Oh.
good job. Yeah.
But yeah, so now I'm just not as hard on myself, and I'm just
Yeah.
kind of like, what do you need today, body? Do you just want to rest? We can just rest. Do you want to do this kind of thing?
Yeah.
Knowing you, like, you gotta eat.
Yeah. I gotta keep telling
You
myself
gotta
that.
you need to put like a timer or something on your phone or
Yeah.
something to eat.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, Melissa, you need to eat. You need to drink water. And so I'll, thank God, my big old 80-ounce thing, I try to finish that before I leave home from work. So, but yeah, just little itty bitty steps. Trying to just break the beauty standard thing as everybody is trying to do, you know, try to love myself a little bit more.
Are there anything
For
that you
that.
would like to tell our listeners that may also be struggling with like the beauty standards and what do you have any advice for them or anything you want to say? It's like a small little snippet.
I'm just trying not to be cliche, but a lot of it is gonna be cliche. Like,
Okay.
do you, boo boo? It really is. You know, their opinion doesn't really matter. Like, a lot of the times, I have to tell myself, like, they don't even know themselves. So why are you gonna give them the power to tell you who you are when they don't even know themselves?
Yeah.
You know, or they don't even want to work on themselves,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. So, honestly, yeah, just do you, boo boo. Whatever you want to do it.
Whatever you in your little voice is already telling you to do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
And like Melissa said, they don't even know themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, they don't know you. So do you.
You know, and I think my inner Melissa is always like, she's always constantly telling me to like get up. You know, it's time to rise from the ashes. You know, do a little better.
Okay, Phoenix.
Yeah, rise
I thought
from
of
the ashes.
Mushu.
Oh,
Violet. That's what I think of.
Yeah, it's time to be your baddest bitch self. You know, you can only be what's the word? You can only be sad for so long. Not the acronym SAD, but like, you know, you can only pity yourself for so long. You know, to where now it's kind of like, okay, you know, so
Yeah.
get your ass up and go do something
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
Kinda
I think
thing.
my boyfriend was saying something like that. Yeah, like where you only can pity yourself for so long, and then if it's extends longer, then you're just being lazy is what it is.
Yeah.
You don't want to do anything. So he's like, that's usually the main focus that most people should focus on is to get rid of that laziness.
or get
No.
back up.
Yeah, and work it back up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But do you guys have anything else? If not, then this will be the end of our episode about beauty standards.
Just saying that look at the king.
Yeah.
There's only one you, and you only have one life. So please, like, love yourself more.
You are special.
If you already love yourself, maybe calm down a little bit.
There are those
Spread the
people
love
who
a little
It is,
bit.
right?
There
That's what
are
I'm
some
saying.
people who are
Who
very
are-
confident,
Yeah.
but they need to lower that.
That's
a
what I'm
little
saying.
bit. Yeah.
Lower it down just a little bit. Spread the love.
Yeah, spread the love.
I
Share it a little
acknowledge-
bit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
acknowledge the
Yeah.
confidence, but just
Lower it
lower
down
that.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Or like if you notice if somebody, I like this is what I try to do. If you notice that somebody wore something cute or something caught your eye, let them know. You know, it boosts their self-esteem for that day. It makes them feel happy for the rest of that day. At least for me, it does. Sometimes, you know. So,
Yeah.
alrighty, we'll catch you in the next episode.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.